Stage 1, press for flight.
T-minus 15 seconds.
Falcon 9 is configured for flight.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition and liftoff. Godspeed, Apollo 11 microfinal Collins. May the pursuit of exploration live on.
Vehicle's pitching downrange.
Stage 1, propulsion is nominal.
Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Cape Canaveral Space Force Station, carrying our stack of Starlink satellites to orbit. The next event coming up here shortly is Max Q. Max Q is the maximum aerodynamic pressure that the vehicle sees on ascent. So throttling down those engines helps us pass through that large structural load.
Vehicle has reached maximum aerodynamic pressure.
And there's that call out that we've passed through Max Q. In about a minute, we'll have 3 events happening within seconds of each other. The first will be MECO, or main engine cutoff, followed by stage separation, and SES-1, or second engine start 1. Now, MECO is where we shut down all 9 of the engines on the first stage.
MVAC engine chill has started.
Just to call out that the MVAC chill has begun on that second stage engine. So for MECO, we shut down all 9 of the engines, and that slows the vehicle down in preparation for that second event, which is stage separation. Stage separation is where the first stage separates from the second stage, and first stage will begin its journey back home, heading towards our drone ship Just Read the Instructions, while stage 2 continues on its journey with the third event, SES-1, or second engine start 1. And that is where we light up that MVAC engine, and it propels the second stage along with the Starlink satellites towards its drop-off orbit.
And MECO.
Stage separation confirmed.
MVAC ignition.
We had MECO and stage separation. On your left-hand screen is a view from the first stage. On your right-hand screen is a view of that second stage engine. You kind of saw a glow of that T-TEB, that green flame, when we ignited that engine. We're coming up on fairing deploy here shortly.
Fairing separation confirmed.
And there you could see confirmation on your screen that we have successfully deployed those fairing halves. And as a reminder, we will be attempting to recover the fairing halves today with a contracted recovery vessel named Sheila Bordelon. On your left-hand screen, it is a little dark over there on the East Coast because it is nighttime, but we did get some glimpses of the sunlight hitting those grid fins. See if we can get some more views of that in a little bit. As stage 2,
acquisition of signal, Bermuda.
As stage 2 takes our Starlink satellites to their targeted drop-off orbit, stage 1 will make its way back to Earth by executing 2 burns. The first is the entry burn, and that's where we light up 3 of the 9 M1D engines. And this will help to slow the stage down as it re-enters back into the upper parts of the Earth's atmosphere. The second of those 2 burns for that first stage is called the landing burn. And this is where a single engine, the center engine, will reignite and bring the vehicle speed down rapidly in order to touch down on that drone ship. As a reminder, we are attempting to land on Just Read the Instructions tonight. And those M1D engines do have a thrust of 190,000 pounds, so that lighting up that one single engine slows the entire vehicle down just enough to touch down on that drone ship. Stage 2 is still looking good, and what you're seeing on your screen is a view of that MVAC engine.
Vehicle's following a nominal trajectory.
Now, if you're just catching up with us, we had a successful launch of Falcon 9 from Cape Canaveral Space Launch Complex 40, and you're looking at a live view of the Falcon 9 second stage as it is making its way to deliver our Starlink payload to orbit. Stage 1 is currently cruising back to Earth towards our drone ship. Just read the instructions out in the Atlantic Ocean. We're just about a minute away from the next event on that first stage. That'll be the entry burn. Again, Starlink satellites are going to a LEO orbit or low Earth orbit, about 550 kilometers above the Earth's surface. Now, most satellites are at 36,000 kilometers or in a geo or geostationary orbit. We are just about roughly 30 seconds away from that entry burn beginning. And on your left-hand screen, there is the first stage. It is a little dark. You can see some glimpses of the nitrogen gas burst that you see there.
Stage 1, FTS is safe.
Stage 1 entry burn.
And you can see on your left-hand screen, the entry burn has begun as those 3 engines light up that view for us. This entry burn will last about 20 seconds long.
Stage 1 entry burn shutdown.
And that concludes...
Stage 2 continues to follow a nominal trajectory.
That concludes the entry burn, and then we also got to call out that stage 2 is still nominal. The next event coming up will be in about a minute from now. That'll be the landing burn, the start of the landing burn on the first stage. And what you're looking at live on your screen is a view from the second stage looking aft at the MVAC engine. That MVAC engine has a thrust of 220,500 pounds of thrust in a vacuum. It's very, very powerful engine taking our Starlink satellites to their targeted drop-off orbit.
Stage 1 transonic.
Still getting good call-outs on that first stage. We're about 15 seconds or so away from that landing burn beginning on the first stage. Stage 2 still looking good.
Stage 1 landing burn.
The landing burn has begun. Let's watch and see if this Falcon 9 can land on our drone ship. Just read the instructions. And a really cool onboard view.
Stage 1 landing leg deploy.
And there
Stage
you can
1 landing
see the first stage Falcon 9 has landed for its 7th time. This marks our 81st successful recovery of an orbital class rocket, and again the 7th flight and 7th landing of this booster. And then we heard a good call out for SECO. That's second engine cutoff.
Nominal parking orbit insertion.
And a good orbital and ground stations. Sometimes we lose that live view, but hoping to get the live view right when we deploy the Starlink satellites. And there they are on your screen. An awesome view from space. You can also see how the second stage is spinning. This does help with the satellites to separate once they do deploy.
Starlink deploy confirmed.
And there you can see and hear that call out that the Starlink satellites have deployed as they are drifting away from the second stage. Now you may notice a slightly different look of these sats on this mission, as some have been painted white for thermal reasons. This will not impact the satellite brightness since the painted face is facing away from the Earth. And just a reminder that this is their drop-off orbit, so shortly they will deploy their solar array, and over the next few days and weeks, they will distance themselves from each other and use their onboard ion thrusters to make their way to their operational orbit.